Yeah, hi Nathan. Yeah, sorry for late join.
Yeah, Nathan, no problem.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we are still waiting, yeah?
yeah, let's wait for a while. After that, we
Okay.
can let's wait till let's wait for 2 more minutes.
Yeah, sure, sure.
So till then, I think we can introduce ourselves and all that. Let's get that one done, and yeah, then after that we can uh, start the session. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure, yeah. You can start as well.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm Ninad, and I have a total Android experience of 5.5 years, and currently I'm working at Apna. And yeah, I think that's about me. Nitin, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure, sure. Myself, Nitin Prakash. Like most of the bodies knows me, but like who joining new, who don't know me. And I have a like 3.6 years experience in Android. I work with Byju's right now. Yeah, and we are learning together. Yeah,
Right.
great, great.
Uh, can you tell more about Coderland for new joiners?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So like why we started this community and like why we are doing this thing. So like so everybody needs a mentor in their in their any domain or any career. So like we are just here to mentoring any people, and we are also getting mentored from other people here. So we are all learning from each other here. So we are planning session, or we are planning our session on the topics which are like in an increasing order of the learning better. Yep, I think like this is the best thing to explain to everybody why we are here.
Right. Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, great. So I'll talk about today's session. Yeah. This migration is a complicated topic. Okay. So usually people are not familiar with this. Um, with the database migration, usually they don't need it, or they haven't fully migrated to Room yet, or things like that. So one of the topics with the Room is migration, which is quite tough actually. Like it's not so straightforward. But yeah, like after today's session, I hope that you get a fair enough understanding and how to deal with migrations and all that. And I'll also cover the auto migration part of the Room library. So auto migration is something that is recent addition, which will remove a lot of boilerplate. So yeah, so let's get to it then. Okay. So this is just some code that I have created to get ourselves started. Nothing much here. Like there is an app database. We are adding user entity. It's on version 1, and there is a user entity, there is a DAO object, and in main activity I'm just inserting a bunch of things, right? Nothing special going on here. So what I'll do is I'll just run this so that we have the first part at least with us, first version running. Okay, so this is just hello world. I think it would be a good idea to show that data, whatever I have on the screen. um, Okay, I'll just call this something.
Ninat, I think we can read the data on the main thread also. It is not a like restriction.
What?
Am I right?
Come again?
Like
No, you
we
cannot.
can
You cannot
read.
perform database. You cannot perform
So
database operations on
no,
main
no.
thread.
So we cannot perform, but we can read the data.
No, anything like it's a database operation itself, bro. Like it will not allow let you do that.
Yeah, yeah. I am doing that. Maybe like you can try that. I hope so.
Oh,
If you are,
no, for that you have to pass. Like if you want to do, you have to pass separate allow main thread queries to do that.
no. If you are trying to like update any data or like insert any data in database, you should do in the background thread, right?
No,
If you're getting
even the fetching part you should do on background thread
yeah.
itself.
Okay, okay. Try both thing like
Because
so we can all learn like if it is not possible. Yeah.
sure.
Thanks,
So
thanks.
I'll just say join. Nothing too special. We're just showing the data, whatever we have in the database. So since it's already running, I'll just comment this piece of code and yeah. Otherwise, it won't matter. Like our primary key is 1 2 3. So yeah. Okay, my bad. Okay, fair enough. So we are showing whatever data we have in the database right now. Okay. So one of the things you should get something straight is whenever you have migration, you whenever you want to deal with migration part of things, you should have one config enabled, which will help you a lot. Like the ROI is great on that one. So if you have this particular piece of code or something like this, like if you have what this is doing is it is generating the schema files for you. So I'll just show where it is. So yeah, I mean this is a schema file. So this is auto generated file. You don't have to do anything. Like Room will do it for you. Like it will generate it for you. You just have to um, pass the path and all that, right? So this is one of the things you're expected to do. Like if you're it will make things easy. Like you if your
So
migration
what is
fails or something.
Jason, like sorry for interrupt you. What is the like reason to use and like, what is the why this is helpful for us?
Yes. I'll come to that later on. Like or
Yeah.
I could answer right now itself. So what happens is that if your migration fails, let's say, so there is no stack trace. It will just tell you that it is failed. It will not tell you the detailed um like what went wrong exactly. Like, you won't see that stack trace. So that is a reason why
So
we do it.
if we do migration wrong, so basically what it does, it will drop our like old data, right?
No, not really. Like it will not give you the stack trace, like what went wrong, like why the migration failed. Like it will just tell you that your migration has failed, but it will not give you the what failed exactly part.
So where we get that logs in
So
logcat or somewhere.
yeah, you'll get it, and when you write the migration script or you don't write the migration script, and when you access the data, like for example,
Mm-hmm.
you're accessing the data first time here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm migrating this to version 2, I'll just comment this out, and
Uh-huh.
this is where I'm getting the data first time, right? So it will crash here basically. Like
Okay.
it will perform the migration first, and that's also why like you cannot do um, main thread fetching, because it can perform the migrations and all those other tasks. Basically, like get all can contain a whole lot of data. Like it can have thousands and thousands of data. It will take time
Mm-hmm.
to fetch all that data, and it will perform migration and all that. So it is most like that. That is why you should not perform this operation on a main thread.
Okay.
um,
Can we try that if it is
sure,
possible?
sure, like we can come to it at the end of it.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. We need no issue with that. Yeah, great.
um, Sure. So, I was saying that this JSON file is helpful for us as well. Like we know the table definition now. So when we are trying to write new migration script, there it will be helpful. Plus, if the migration fails, it will refer to this and our new schema version, and it will tell you why it failed exactly. So it will tell you the diff of what went wrong, what went wrong with the table definition or something. So that's why it's extremely important that you get this part right. And it's not hard to find. Like it is there in the it is there on the room um, installation documentation itself. Like yeah. So other than that, you do this like standard. You add room dependency and you add room testing, right? So testing is not something we are doing right now. I mean, right away. But in this session, I'm going to cover testing as well. So yeah, moving forward. Yeah, right now what I want to do is, let's say I want to add an extra field, right? So where is it? Yep. So here I just want an extra field. I'm going to add photo. I'll keep it nullable. Uh, okay. And this is my app database. I'll upgrade the version. Yeah. So you're talking about what crash it will show, right? Like I'll show it right now. So
Yeah, right, right.
what I'm going to do is not going to write the migration script just to show that how it crashes,
Okay,
right? So we do this, uh, just run this. Okay, so it basically crashed. So yeah, so it is telling you that a migration from 1 to 2 was required but not found. And yeah, so that's because we didn't write the migration at all. So one thing we can do is, let's go ahead and write the migration. Let's write the wrong migration. That will also show you what happens. So I'll just create a migration. So to create a migration, you just have to, um, let's say I'll create migration from 1 to 2 to migration. Yeah, this is a class, not. So I'll mention 1 2. What is happening? Cannot create an object. So it was needed. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So here we are getting we are mentioning the migration now, and we'll pass this migration. So it will basically, it is taking varargs of migration. Like all the number of migrations you write, you can pass it comma comma comma. Like no worries there, right? So this time what I'll do is I'll not write anything. Okay. My bad. Okay. Did it run? Yep. So it crashed basically. So we'll just see what went wrong. So here you can see that it is giving detailed crash now. Like, this is your original, and this is something you passed. Like, you did not write. So basically, this is a found one. So this is a wrong one basically, since we did not write anything, and this is what is expected. So you'll not get this crash log unless you have the schema enabled. So it is very helpful that you have that. Okay, moving on. So yeah, I mean, adding um, a column is pretty easy. I'll just say um, alter table, alter table. What is it? User, add column, photo, text. I think that should do it. Let me see if that script is correct or not. It could be there is something wrong with the script. Oh, the migration is successful, as you can see. So yeah, I mean, that's how you add a column. Like, pretty easy, nothing too complicated there. We had to bump up the version, we had to add the migration, we had to write one script, and we are good to go. Like, our JSON file is created. Okay, so yeah, this was about the adding part. I'll just commit this part.
One like I want to one more thing to hear.
Mhm.
But like, why we using export schema true? What is the use case for that?
Yeah, that's what it's doing. Like, if we have this false, it will,
Mm-hmm.
like, basically it will not generate these files.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah. So I'll just commit this, add photo. By the way, you should always have smaller commits. But for demo purposes, I'll just add column, right? Say push. Okay, great. So now, oh, by the way, I did not increase my font. Is it fine? Is it
Is
visible?
it, is it visible? Yeah, great, no issue. I'm saying.
I'm just, I forgot what the.
I think it is visible. No issue with that. We can see
Yeah,
that.
no problem. I'll do it anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure, sure.
Uh, yeah. So now I have, let's say, I want to add a few more things there, right? So let's say I want to remove something. So remove, the thing with remove is it is not so straightforward. Um, but can I do something else before that? Um, yeah, let's say we want to remove the photo we just added, right? We don't no longer need the photo. We no longer yeah, we no longer want it, right? So for that, what I would do is yeah, again the same thing. Since this is a new migration, I'll go to app database. Where is it? Yeah, this is this. I'll upgrade it to version 3. I'll write this again, 2 3. Okay, so here it's not so straightforward. You have to there is no directly you can just alter table, remove column. This is not something you can do. It will not, the SQL version used in Android does not allow you to do that. Okay, so how do you delete a particular, let's say, photo, right? What we'll do is I'll write the pseudo code. First, what we'll do is we'll create a new temp user table, populate all the data in that. data in that temp table, right? Um, yeah. Now what we'll do is we'll drop the original table, and then we are going to rename the temp table to user table. User. This is what we want, right? So these are our four operations we have to do. It's a little hectic, but because of the version issues and all that, we cannot bypass them. Like we have to do them. So I'll just get it started. So I'll just say database.exec. Uh, this is where our schema will help us. We have version 3, right? So I'll just build this. Okay, that will give me the version 3. So I know that my version 1 and version 3 are going to be same, but just in case, if you don't have that definition, you can just build it and get that generated. So uh, yeah, I mean that's what we just have to replace us with uh, temp users. Right? Nothing too fancy here. We are just creating a temp table with the same database definition. By the way, like had this been like we had not been using export schema, this would have been very difficult. Like you would have to think about all this and how to do it. Like you can also go wrong there, but with this, it has become quite easier. Um, yeah. So this is it. We defined the primary key. Now, okay. Now what we'll do is we'll copy everything from old database to new database, right? Insert into into temp user. Let's say temp user. Then insert into uh, values. Let's say UID name. Yeah, name. I have one more. No, nothing else, right? So I'll just copy these two items and select. I'll do UID comma or yeah name from what's the table name user. Right? So this is what I'll do. And we're copying every row from this table into this one. So, but we are, notice we are not querying the photo. We are not asking for the photo column because we don't need it in our new database or new upcoming database, right? So I'll just say now I can just drop table. Uh, we'll drop the original one because we have the data and the new table with us. Um, Now I'll say database.exec SQL. Um, okay. Now alter table. The table I'll just say rename temp user. Name to I'll just say user. Wait. Yeah. Um, and yeah, I think that should work. Right. So let me yeah, not an issue. Let me run this. See if it works or not. Right. Did I upgrade the version? I upgraded the version. Did I write the SQLs? Yeah, I added that. 2, 3. Okay, let's run it. Right? I am expecting at least one issue. Oh, great. So, yeah. So here we can see that our database migration is successful. We have successfully gotten all the data, um, and did all the four steps correctly. Anyway, like this is a pretty risky thing to do. Like like here it was quite straightforward, but these are all four steps and above, right? I mean, so it is better to have testing enabled in this one, right? So I'll just before I yeah I'll just write the test cases for this one so that it
Nina, like,
will.
one thing from my side here.
Yeah,
So, if we are like moving from two to three, we'll
yeah,
still need that one to two.
yeah. So for example, someone can be coming from, okay, assume that this was not 1 to 2, it was 2 to 3, and this was 3 to 4. Someone could have been on version 1, and straight
Okay.
away they come to version 2 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Straight away they come to version 3. It would have been a problem for them,
Mm-hmm.
like it would crash specifically on their device,
Okay.
right? So
So,
I
so
mean,
we need to run all migration that we are using.
yeah, I mean, the internal room will internally take care of it for you. So
Okay.
one more practice what people yeah, I mean, I'll come back to it later on, but
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think I should tell you immediately. So okay, so one more thing people will do is they will just write this. It will be zero. Let's assume, like, the zero to do, and I don't do anything here, and add it here. So someone is coming from zero, let's say. Um, they'll bypass both these. They'll come straight here. Notice that there is no migration here because we are adding the table, adding a column and then deleting it. So basically, like, for someone who is coming from zero to two, there is no change. So I mean, that's how they would handle it. They don't need to go through this chaining thing. Okay. Um, right. So yeah, I mean, let's focus on the test cases now. Uh, Android unit test. We have.
One more thing, like if we need to change the column name, we have to do the same thing as we are doing in
No.
deleting.
Yeah. We'll have to do the same thing. Like, if we have to change the column name as well. But yeah, I mean, if you have to change the table name, it's not so difficult. Like, you can just write this particular script,
Okay.
just alter table. We don't have to do this whole thing.
Okay. And if you're trying to any change in column name,
Come again?
like if you're trying to do any change in column name,
Yeah. Then you'll have to do all this.
all this, right? Got it, got it.
Yeah. Okay.
And like one more thing, if anybody has question, they can like put on the live chat.
Yes. Please, feel free to do that. Do that. I'll address them
Okay.
later on. So I'll just write test cases, migration tests. I notice I'm creating this test in Android test and not a JUnit test, like just a Java test. Mm, okay. I'll just say user migration test. Okay. Right. So I'll just say with JUnit, Android JUnit, yeah, Android JUnit 4 class, right? And I'll say file test migration helper, migration test. Mm, Migration helper, I believe. Yeah. Wait. User migration test. Test. I forgot what it is. Uh, test. Let me just quickly Google it. Yep, this is the one, migration test helper. Did I not add the dependency correctly? That's right. Yeah, let me just check the dependency. Yeah, okay. So it is added as test implementation. You have to change it to Android test implementation. Yep, that's the one. Migration test helper. I'll just say instrumentation registry. Uh, you don't need to worry about this right now, what all this is, but just remember that. Remember these two things, like we this migration test helper requires this instrumentation, so it will pass all the things that that maybe migration test helper requires internally for regarding Android, right? And you'll also pass the schema path here, but you don't have to pass the schema path exactly. You can just say app database dot class dot java dot canonical canonical name. So tomorrow, if the app database is shifted to somewhere else, like this is taken care of. Like we are not referencing it by string, right? Okay. So one thing about rule is, yeah. So what it will do is, like, it will, yeah. What rules do is that that it will just run a few things before running your test cases, and run a few things after you're doing the test cases. So if I open this one, um, I'll not go too much into detail. So on start or for, okay, test watcher will look at. Okay, I mean this is some different implementation, but what it does is that it will just say what you want to do before and after. So not dive too much in detail regarding this one, and you just say migrate one to two, one to two, or we want to migrate from two to three, right? That's what we did. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll just migrate two to three. I'll add test annotation here, which is, yeah. Okay. So one thing I can do right now is I have to set a const val test db. I'll just say test db. Nothing too complicated here, and I'll just say migration test helper create database. This is my version. Here, I'll put two, a lower version first. I'll tell it to generate the database. Yeah, my bad. I'll just pass test db2, then version I'm passing to. So this what I'm telling the test helper is that generate whatever I have, whatever my table definitions were for version 2. So this how it will do is it will refer to this schemas that I have generated, that Android, that room helped me generate, or room generated for its own reference or for us, right? It will refer to this one, and it will uh, generate the database version which was at two, right? Then what I'll do is, now I'll just say use, or I yeah, I can choose to insert the data. Yeah, let me just insert it. So what I'll do is I'll just say exec SQL. I'll just say insert into what is the name? Yeah, I think users only. Insert into user. I'll just say UID name and photo. Values will be um, values will be, let's say int will be, I'll not add too many values, but I'll just at least add one value here. So I can just hard code anything here. Here I'll say, here I'll say hello, and photo I'll just say anything, photo.jpg, right? Nothing too complicated. We are just inserting one database. We are just inserting one row into this, and yeah, that's it. So that's all we are doing right now. So here what we'll do is I will just say migration test helper dot run migration and validate. Here we'll pass the same. STB version will say mention will 3, validate will say true, want to validate it, and for 2 to 3 whatever migrations we require, right? We can ask from this guy. You can say 2 to 3. So app database dot 2 3, right? So what this will do is it will validate the migration, and it will um, yeah, and it will just yeah, now comes the important, like it will validate first. It will check if migrations are correct or not, right? And after that we can check if it dot query, I'll get select star from user, and I'll say use this, and um yeah, I can just uh, yeah, I can do this, and I can just say it dot count, right? um Assert equals, because I'm adding only one value. um our count should be 1, right? Let's rename this, right? So hopefully this one passes because our main migration run correctly. So what it will do is it will basically run our migration on yeah, okay, let's look at what went wrong. Migration test helper must be public. Okay, I forgot to add um, JVM field. This is important for the rules. Any rules you're setting in Kotlin, you have to explicitly mention it as uh, a public variable and a constant, a variable, right? So I'll run this again. Okay, what went wrong now? Cannot find schema files in asset folder. What went wrong? Missing file, but file is there. Okay, yeah, my bad. So this is something you have to do. Uh, but I'll just add the test configuration as well. So yeah, this we have to add Android. So it is not able to find the schema location. We have to also uh, add this as extra test configuration. Like we have to mention the as Android test assets src there, so it will refer to this. It will not create its own assets, or we don't have to give the global path basically. Okay, now it should work. Let's run this now. Great. So as we can see, our tests are completed, and um, yeah, our migration is successful. We don't Our data is also retained. So whatever data not only our migration succeeded, but our data also succeeded. We don't need to worry about this now. So yeah, so I think that that's about test and migration regarding this one. So let me just quickly commit this part of code. So I'll just say I'll not, yeah, I'll add this. I'll not add the test part. but rest of it I'll add. Yeah, and let's see, migration to version 3. That's it. Okay. I'll also add test cases. This is for version 2, 3, right? Okay. So now I'll handle a slightly complex migration, right? So what I'll do is, I'll where is it? I'll take my user class, right? I have name, I have name. I'll split it down into first name and last name. So let's say this is a requirement change later on. First name, yeah, my bad. First name you're adding, then nullable, you are increasing the bumping up the version number. You have to write the migration script. I'll just say this, say 3 to 4, right? So it is mostly going to be the same steps, right? At mostly, but there is going to be one small change. Like you cannot insert blindly into this. So you'll have to get the data first. So database dot exec or query first, and then select star from yeah, from user, right? So you're getting all the data, and yeah, okay, yeah. So here, what you'll do is you'll say use, and you'll say build list. Build list is basically like it will just um, it will just return in the list format. So okay, yeah. So I'll just build this list, and I'll say if it dot column count equals 0 dot if, I'll return, right? No need to go further, and I'll say it move to first, right? I'll write the do while operation, it dot move to next, and I'll say, so since my user has um, ID and name only, I just need to create a pair. So you can create your own class here for multiple versions, but I'll just create a pair. I don't need to, yeah. So here I'll just say it dot um get string, no, get int. Yeah, this is my ID. It dot get column index. I'll just say UID, and I'll say it dot get string. Uh, it will be get dot column and get column index for name. Right? What went wrong here? Not enough information. Fair enough. I'll just say int string. Yeah, my bad. I also have to. Yeah, what went wrong here? Get int. I'll just write it on separate line. So I am seeing too many. Yeah, I see what is happening. So I'll just say pair of this, and I'll add these values, immutable list, and here I'll just get users, right? So this is kind of a risky thing to do when you have millions and millions of items, but we don't expect that kind of data in our database. You can run a while loop here, like while of get 30 items every loop. uh, I mean, yeah, and you can just keep inserting that data into the new database, right? But yeah, for the purposes of this demonstration, uh, we can just straight away get all the users in this particular list, and I'll just say database dot um exec. Yeah. So first, let me do something. I'll just say users dot map. This is after the version is moved. I have pair already here, so I'll just say it dot first will be my ID, which will not change. I'll take triple here. Triple will be int string, right? So I want first name and last name. I have it dot first, it dot second dot split. I'll do split with gaps. Extract this name. It name names. So names. I'll call it names. So since we already have two names, right? We have first name and last name. We'll just append everything we have. Let's say we have something like we have something like three names. Like we have three names: Babu, Raghu, and Pitra Vapte. Like those are three names. This will be our first name, and this part will be our second name. Yeah. Anyway, this is a fairly complex operation, and this is a good use case to cover, right? So what I'll do is I'll just get get or null, get or null, and I'll pass first value, index position. Um, what is this? I'll just say, yeah. I'll just say names dot drop of one, and I'll say join with same thing, like spaces, right? This is what we are returning. Returning this and drop one. Yeah. Now we have users here. Now we can straight away add this users dot for each. I'll just do this, right? Um, it dot I'll say first name. I'll say last name. Um, and here I'll pass it dot I'll record. Yeah. So I'll do the descriptive part. I'll do first. I'll do second, right? And I'll do third. Okay. So insert into this. No need for select. I'll just say values. All right. I'll remove this. I am doing this. No need to refer to the table now because we don't need it. We have all the data here in the users, right? And I can also remove this. Okay, so we are what we are doing is this again. This is a complex operation. You cannot like I am doing this in my head, but I might be wrong. So that's where test cases help you a lot, right? So yeah, I have this. Right? Am I doing everything right? Insert into temp user UID. I'm adding. ID first name, last name. I'm doing values first, second, third, right? Here I'm splitting by, yeah, let's run and see. Okay, so we have migration 3 4. Our version is at 4. We'll add this migration as well. Migration 3 4. What went wrong? Okay, 3 4. Yeah. Great. Okay, so let's test this one out. Come on. Yeah. I have user migration test. Now I'll write for 2 to 3 through 3 to 4, right? I'll just say this version is 3, this version is 4. Migration will be 3 to 4, right? Um, Same thing. And where is, no, I don't need this because photo is not there in my latest version. I don't need this as well. I have hello. I'll just say, I'll insert two more. I'll just say two, hello world, and I'll say hello world. Right? So test, according to our test case, according to our migration, our first one should be, yeah, I'll add one more where we don't have um, any first name. We have null. Let's say. How do you? Yeah, I'll just keep it empty. Okay. Um, yeah. Now I have this. Okay. So let's see if at least this part is correct. We should have four. Count should be four, and let's validate it. Let's see if it works. Yeah, I was not expecting it to run, but cannot find schema. Make sure. Why this again? Did I bump the version here? I bumped the version. We have 3 4. Why is this happening? I also did that. File not found. File not found. Okay. Migration 3 4. 4 is correct. 4 is correct. 4.json is also there. Okay. Let me try again. I mean, this could, I don't know, this might be causing a problem, but let's see. No. But now I am seeing a different exception. That's good. Yeah. Temp user has no column first name. That makes sense. Temp user, yeah, exactly. I did not copy this. I should have changed the table definition, right? Where is it? I am doing migration here. I should copy this exactly as it is, right? Table name I'll put temp temp user, right? Temp user, correct. And I will say things like trim margin, whatever, don't care about this. We have UID, first name, last name, primary key as UID, and rest of it should work. Let's see. Okay, failed one more time. Now it is no such column. While insert into temp, first name, last name, values. Oh, my bad. I should not have done this. It should be a single colon, right? Yeah, my bad. So this is exactly my point. Like our testing cycle is pretty quick here when we write test cases. We quickly found out what our issues were, and we like went ahead with the proper solution this time, right? So we can do further here. Like we can also uh, just give me a second. Yeah. So we can also assert the values, first values, right? So I'll just say cursor move to first. I'll just get the first one. Cursor dot um, get string first name column index of it dot get column index of get string cursor. Yeah, cursor. My bad. Cursor dot index of get column index of first name, right? So this is only first name I'm checking right now. Uh, for only first we say for only first entry. So it should be ideally it should be zero here or empty here, right? Similarly for last name, let's assert this if we have this correct. Assert this assert equals we have first name and expected is our empty. It should be empty, right? My bad. It will just yeah. Last name should be null, however, right? I don't know if how what I wrote there, but we should expect this value to be null. Let's verify this. Yes, expected was empty but was null. So we wrote something wrong wherever we wrote that. So this is joined to string. I should have done names dot names. What should I have done? I should have drop get no or null. So anyway, like we like this logic is wrong. Like we should not have done this. Um, but I'll not dive too much deeper into this one. So I'll just write this as empty and let's move it forward. But yeah, like that's how you would do it. Right? I think that is successful. You just have to run this in loop and check for all these four values. That's all you have to do, and it should work. So if you do it twice, cursor dot move to first or move to next, right? So this should be hello, and this should be empty, right? See, that's see how easy it became to test everything. So yeah, I think that's about the that's about a slightly complicated test case. Um, no need to worry about this. Just commit this part. Version 4 with test case. And version 5. Yeah. Okay, so now do we have any time? So I wanted to cover the auto migration part as well, but it looks like we are out of time. So if we can continue, like whoever want to continue, they can continue, but others can drop off. The um, the code will be provided, and the code and the slides will be provided at the like it will be like I'll publish it on LinkedIn. It will be a separate post, so no need to worry about it. But if anyone is in hurry, like they can drop here. Having said that, like we can proceed further. Nitin, you have something to add?
Yeah, no, not so. So Pooja Srivastav have some doubt
Uh-huh.
in chat. So she is asking if I, sorry, if I have to add Boolean column in the update database. Okay,
Right,
and
right.
SQL has no support for Booleans as it is used in teachers data type as zero
Got it.
and one. To deal
Got it.
with
Got it.
Boolean, how to add a new like Boolean in the column.
Yeah, sounds good. So what you should do is, like you have this, yeah, student of the year, right, or something like that. Yeah, it can be Boolean, right? Does not matter. And
Mhm.
this is of nullable type. I'll just remove this. Don't care about this. It can be anything. Yeah. So so what you'll write basically here is that let's say it is this sort of migration. I'll just copy this. It will be 5 6, right? Whatever it is, 4 5. Care about that either. You just alter table, add column. You say, uh, where is it? Student of the
You can
year, right?
use yeah
Student of,
off here maybe you can check
yeah.
in user table.
So it will be of type integer.
Okay.
And yeah, so I mean, like whatever is saved in the room database, it is either saved as 0 or 1. So you can also pass default value
Okay.
1. So this will be
Default only default maybe required.
default, yeah, default 1, yeah, default as 1. So it will, like, here our where is it? Yeah, here we're keeping this boolean as nullable, but we can choose something like, or we could have done something like this as nullable. So we have to add default as well. When you're mentioning that, yeah, nullable, yeah, you have to do one more thing, like integer, not null. If you're if you have that the definition
Default.
you want it to be not nullable, then you have to mention this. So be careful of this, like what you're doing here. It matters a lot. It matters a lot.
Okay.
Okay, does that answer your question?
Pooja, is it like make sense to your answer? Maybe she will ping later. We can go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sounds good. Are there any other questions?
Uh, not yet. Not yet.
Okay, okay, great. So I'll proceed with the auto migration part. So yeah, so auto migration dependency, I believe, is what is 1.4 point something. Let me just, if I'm correct, 2.4 point. I'll just check. Auto migration, auto migration. Let me see. No, not this one. Yeah, this is my dependency. I just have to add this. I what I'll do is I'll just yeah, I have this version. I'll just roll all this back. Right? No need to add this. Okay. So with the room database, so Nitin, can you, like, there is some disturbance? Can you, like, on
Sure, sure.
auto migration? You'll pass an array. Now I say, let's say auto migration is from um, our current version is 4. Next will be 5. This will be 5. This will be from, and this will be 2. Right? Um, yeah, I mean, so it depends like whether you're what you're trying to do. Let's do the same operation with whatever student of the year we are trying to do, right? Let's do student of year, and I'll say here I'll say boolean not null type. Notice what I'm doing. It is of not null type. So yeah, so what we are doing is basically we are just adding the uh, version here. Like we are just adding a column basically. We are not doing anything else. So I'll just select this as app. I'll just build this configuration.
So here we are not
So it
writing
should
like
it should
manual migration for 4 to 5, right?
that is correct. That is correct. So notice that it has shown an exception. It has thrown an exception because we did not set the default value here. We should also set the default value
Okay.
as what should we do? I'm not aware
Maybe
about the
zero.
boolean part. Yeah, maybe 0. Yeah.
Hmm.
So let's see if this works. Great. Let's run this also. See if it works. Did it work or not? Yeah, it worked. Great. So
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 we
I
write
mean, yeah,
okay. Default value is like 1. You have defined the migration.
yes,
Have you
yes,
defined
correct.
that? So we are getting true. Okay, we are getting false. Okay. Fine.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
issue.
yeah. So 0 is false. Like 1 is true,
Okay.
right? So now let's do one thing. Let's remove this as well, right? So I mean,
One
this
more
is
thing,
a
Nanya, like sorry for interrupt you. Like Pooja is asking the same question that I asked to you. Like we have to keep on writing migration. Like
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So are you talking about auto migration or which
any
part are you
because
talking
like
about?
I'm talking about like we have to write all migration. We have to keep all migration.
Not necessarily. It depends on how you want to like what sort of application you have. Like you can write destroy fallback to destructive migration. If you write this, you don't have to write the migration, but your data is bye bye. Like you cannot all the data you have in your database, it will go
Okay.
away. So you will start fresh.
Okay.
It depends, totally depends on your use
Okay.
case. Do you How important is the
Yeah,
data to you?
but the standard is we have to keep on writing that
Correct, correct,
most of the time, right?
correct. So now, yeah, let's come back to it. We removed whatever we added, right? So what I'll do is I'll just say auto migration array I have. I'll copy this. This will be from 5 to 6. This will be my version 6. And yeah, so I'll have to write a spec as well here. Spec will be auto migration spec. Let me create a class here. Yeah, let me create outside class auto migration. Migration spec will be 5 6, right? uh, 5 to 6. And I'll say auto migration spec. So, yeah, auto migration spec. And so what I have to tell is I have to, okay, so let me build this without this. Okay, see what happens, right? I'll not mention in spec here. Let me build this. Okay, so the compiler will cry saying that you did not remove the column. because you deleted the you deleted a column, but you did not mention it anywhere that you deleted that column, and the room cannot infer that. um, so yeah, I mean, you have to, and it is all doing that while referring to these files. It is not saying it is not uh, yeah, so I mean, it is referring to these schema files, and then it is inferring that you have not returned all this. So now I'll just add a spec here. Spec here, migration 5 to 6, right? Now I'm mentioning that remove column, delete column, yeah, delete column, delete column. I'll save here. You have to pass table name. Table name will be user, user, yeah, it's user, and then um, you have column name as, what column are we deleting? We're deleting what did we delete? Student of the year. Where is it?
I think like Ninad, we should keep this on the other session because like it is going to too complicated for
No,
others
it
maybe.
is not going to be. It is not going to be too complicated. Like I feel that this is not mature enough. But I'm just
Hmm.
showing the future, like what sort of things
Yeah.
should we expect in the future. Um,
Okay. Okay. So one question I have, like you write. Can you go on the top? Okay. Okay.
okay,
Do your first. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead. To build now. Tell me.
Yeah. Please, you go on the top of the file. This file.
Yeah.
So you write in the auto migration 4 to 5, 5 to 6. So like I understood 5 to 6, we are writing a migration specs,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
what we are doing 4 to 5, we are not writing migration specs. Why? Like what is the like
Four
behavior
to
here?
five. Yeah. Yeah. So 4 to 5 we are not writing migration because it is easy to infer for the compiler what you have added or deleted. Like adding is the easy part. Like
Okay,
as I
okay.
said again, like adding something, it can notice that it is there, so I have to add it. But removing
So
is a little tricky.
basically like one more thing, like if you're adding migration in the get instant method, we can remove that also. Okay, okay, you are
Get,
not adding the 4 to 5. Okay, we got it, got
yeah, I mean, you have to do this. You have to write auto migration, but you
it.
don't have to write spec
For adding a column, right?
for adding columns, for adding tables even. So you can add
Okay,
tables and you don't have to write auto migration spec.
specs. Okay,
Yeah, but deleting
and
deleting column, deleting table, you have to add auto migration spec. Otherwise, it would not work. It will just keep failing until you write it,
okay, okay,
right?
got it, got it.
Okay, I mean, like similarly, let's say you have to rename something, right? Let's say I am renaming first name. I am renaming this UID to ID. Nothing too complicated. This is a change again. We have to bump this to version 7. I'll write this again. This will be 6 to 7.
Like this is pretty easy, like for manually, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty easy now. Uh, I'll just say till yeah, I'll just say 6 to 7. 6 to 7. So what I'm doing is I'm renaming the column. So rename column, yeah, rename column. So yeah, even this has become a lot easier now. So we had two column name. I'll just say ID, and from column name I'll say UID. That's it.
Okay,
So all this we don't have to do anything. We don't have to do anything like this particular thing. Two to three. It was all about migrating from. It was all about deleting particular. Uh,
column, right?
yeah, delete column. This one was about this one, migration 2 3. But yeah, I mean, like the steps are same. Like when you try to rename, you'll have one more field here. But like we are avoiding all this boilerplate code with this auto migration spec and all that. So I mean, it's pretty easy. Like you can have even one more, or you can do in the same thing. I don't know if you can do in the same thing, but let me check. I'm renaming the table now. Rename table. I'll just say from table. Let's say user to table. I'll say users. Right here, I'll say name as table name as user. So and where is it? There is also DAO, right? Here I'll say users. Right? And did I? Don't have to, right? Like I did not run this yet. It's pretty easy. See, I mean, like I don't have to do anything. Similarly, I can
Okay,
like
so
there is one more
we
thing.
can write multiple migration in one thing, yeah.
Correct,
We-
correct,
Right.
correct, correct. There's
Yeah,
also a
yeah.
delete table. You can just straight away say that you want to delete the users table now. No longer require it, and you have to remove this whole thing. You can remove the users table and all
Okay.
that. Nothing to yeah. I mean, you could write it in a separate thing. But I mean, yeah, these are the sort of things we should expect. But there are issues, of course. Like there are problems with this. So, for example, you have, let's say, you're migrating from 5 to 6, where you deleted the column, but you also added the column
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, right? Here you added the column auto migration, and you deleted the column
Mm-hmm.
here as well, right? But it will
Mm-hmm.
so happen that it will happen that if you let's say someone from version 4 comes directly to version 7, it will crash for them
Okay.
for them, because here we are mentioning to delete the column, and it will find that there is no column to delete. So it will crash in
Okay.
production.
Okay.
It will runtime crash. It is not like otherwise. And if you remove this, it will not allow you to compile. So that will be a compile time thing. So I mean, there are problems. Like there is also one more thing with auto migration spec. You can override. You can override method here. This is on post migrate. So whenever this all this migration is completed, you also get a callback here, and you can do something like yeah, you can do something. I cannot think of any application right now, but yeah, this is something you can do. But yeah, I mean, like it could have been cleaner if you had, let's say, it will say you're deleting the column in this particular table, right? In this particular table, it is pretty clear, right? But for another table, I have to write some complex query, which I'm handling here, right? So whatever I'm doing, I'm doing the complex query here. So this will not work. This hybrid will not work. So you have to write all the changes here, and this is just a callback, saying like it is done. You just print line, whatever. You can just do something, like, but you cannot do the hybrid
So
approach here.
basically,
Like you cannot.
basically this will run after the migration done.
Correct, correct. I mean, that is one of the issues I'm seeing right now. Like, yeah. So I mean, like I would not jump straight away into this, but you can like keep an eye out, because it is doing a lot of help to us. Like it is reducing a lot of code. And yeah, I mean, this complex migration, you still have to write this. You still have to write the complete migration script. You still have to write it. Like you cannot do it with spec. You have to write this, because it cannot. The compiler cannot. Like anyone cannot infer anything about this. Like there is a complicated logic here. So yeah, this
Okay,
one.
we can know that complex migration using migration specs.
You cannot do complex migration using migration spec. You have to have this
Okay.
migration. Like it will work together.
Oh,
So you have,
oh,
yeah, you
whole
have
thing.
add migration as well, and you
Hmm.
have that as well. Anyway, so
Okay.
like there are multiple things like this. You can have val migrations array of. Yeah, my bad. I have to put it at the end. This will be star migration. It will cover everything. Like it's really much cleaner now. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, like any questions?
Uh, Pooja, I have one more question. Like she's asking, DB transaction are costly.
I mean, yeah, they're costly. I mean, what is the question exactly?
This is the only thing that she's written.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, DB transactions are costly, but it will not run on app startup. Like it will not run in application on create or anything. It will run on first access. As I said again, this is where it will run. This is if I don't write this, my migration will not run at all. No matter no matter what I do. Does that make sense?
Okay, okay. So you are saying like we need to like like we like to
Invoke.
do any transaction
Yeah.
when the migration could work.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, since we are doing this in thread, like we don't have to worry about like what if like it can take it like max it will take like 2 to 4 seconds. Like, but we don't care. Like it is running on background thread. If it is running on if it is running a huge operation, then even like 2 to 10 seconds it will take. Like I don't care. I don't care about this. Like like eventually you'll have the data. Like you'll show the spinner, and your nothing will change. Like everything is happening in background. Like ideally it will not take that long, but just say
Okay.
okay. So we wanted to try this, right? Let's try this, right? Oh wait, before that I'll commit all this, or yeah, I'll not commit this. I'll not add auto migration. This is it will be there in the slides, so don't have to worry about it. uh, yeah. Okay, now I'll just revert everything.
Yeah,
What did I
yeah, yeah.
change
Pooja,
here?
you can ask any question if you have.
Are there any questions? No.
Yeah, she is typing. You can do.
Okay, okay, got it. So I'll just run this and see what happens. Right? Where is the run button? Come on.
Mhm. Right.
Right. So this is an input we should expect. Like this is I don't know if I ran that or not. I hope it does not crash, but let's see. Did I run the auto migration anytime? I am not aware.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I did
Okay.
write it, I think. Okay, so anyway, like I'll just where is it? App database. I'll write that. Right. Destructive migration on downgrade and fallback. Do I need both? Okay, I'll just keep it for safety. Yep, I'm getting the crash. It is saying that you cannot access database on main thread because it will potentially lock the UI web. So yeah, you cannot do
Okay.
database operations in main thread.
Got it. Thanks for it.
Okay, great. Questions?
So like Pooja was asking like when we are already have a Boolean column and during migration we will donate the field as an integer only as you showed previously the above one.
I did not get the question exactly. What? Come again.
Yeah, like when we are already have a Boolean column, right? And during
Mm-hmm.
validation, we will donate the field as
Delete,
integer
is it?
only. Yeah, I think delete. Maybe she's saying she's right. Donate. Maybe delete.
Okay. Okay. So you're deleting the column. So yeah, I mean, like, you don't have to, like, when you're saying that, like, whenever you're writing delete script, you are not explicitly saying that I want to delete this. So whichever temp column whichever temp table you're creating, you're not defining that. So for example, that boolean will not come here. I mean, even if it did, it will just be integer here, like nothing to worry about there. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, like Pooja, does it make sense for your question? Maybe she will like type later. Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Otherwise, I think we can
Nothing,
conclude.
nothing, nothing, nothing.
Okay, great, great. Well, the code is pushed. Mm, I, I'll uh, I'll update the YouTube description in the YouTube or something, and I'll also create a separate post for LinkedIn post for sharing the slide. I have the slides ready. Uh, so glad to have you guys here on Saturday afternoon. Um, so thank you for that, and yeah, until next time. Uh, Nitin, you have anything to add, or
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think
like nothing, nothing. Yeah, we
great.
like we got to learn new things. Thanks, Ina. Thank you so much for sharing this.
No problem,
Like
no problem.
I hope you all learn new things from us. So like we just need to like put your comment or your feedback on like comment on LinkedIn on YouTube anywhere. So we just need to keep improving ourselves to like future sessions. Thank you so much to all. Like have a good day to you all.
Yep. Thank you for joining, guys. Until next time.